You're listening to Sensitive, Spiritual, and Successful, the podcast where we uncover ways to connect you back to your soul self and get you unstuck so that you can live out your full potential. I'm Jasmine Lynn, a former psychotherapist turned human design soul guide and EFT tapping success coach, and I'm here to show you how to love yourself through all your levels of growth. I know you're here because you have an impact you want to make in this world and you have a light to share, and I'm here to guide you through that journey because you deserve soul-aligned success. Hi, everyone. I thought that I would give you the workshop replay that I did for the Ultimate Human Design Summit this year. It's called The Role of Belief in Owning Your Potential. I think this is really important for everybody to understand. It's funny because I came from a background where I was working with people, helping them, change their thinking, basically a cognitive model of therapy. And I used to be like, this is so backwards. But now you'll hear in this episode, I talk about the theories that I put into experimentation. And obviously, there's no surprise here that working with the body is important because the subconscious mind is the body. I hope you enjoy this replay. And I have in the show notes here the link to the common blocking beliefs. And I also have the link to the replays for all of the Ultimate Human Design Summit presentations. And yeah, if you like this presentation, you want to learn more about human design, unpacking parts of your chart for wealth, for if you're a coach, where your gifts lie, messaging, creating content with human design, parenting, inner child healing. Honestly, this is like the best package to learn from. All right, enjoy. Hi there. Thanks for tuning in to the Ultimate Human Design Summit. I'm Jazz, the host and creator of this event, and I wanted to do a little presentation on the role of belief in owning your potential. We're going to hear from amazing speakers. We have so many speakers this year, and I'm so excited for you to catch their presentations. So I'm going to make this really short and to the point, and I hope that it helps your alignment journey as you're learning from the other human design experts. Okay, let's jump in. A little bit about me. I am a former psychotherapist. I worked in the community as an addictions counselor, concurrent disorders counselor, worked with youth, running youth programs. I'm a third line, so I really experimented. I even did couples counseling, and that was not my jam, but I learned it, got certified in it, and I learned very quickly that that was not it. So basically, my experience has shaped the way that I see the world in terms of how people are able to reach the goals that they set for themselves. Because in therapy, we set goals around your well-being, your wellness, how you want to feel. And I got to see the way that beliefs work, how self-sabotage works, things like that with human behavior, and how some people are succeeding and the people that weren't maybe succeeding or that they would backslide into old behaviors. I really wanted to figure that out. I really wanted to know where that was coming from. And so that kind of like gives me my, what am I going to say? It kind of gives me my background, and it kind of gives me like that motivation, or has given me that motivation to really dive into this a little deeper. So again, went on my little experimental journey. I also had a private practice supporting empaths and highly sensitive women. And I saw through my practice that as we worked on healing, the clients would say, I feel like myself. I feel so authentic to me, and I like, this is really great. And then what happened was they would say, Chaz, I want to start a business. I want to write a book. I want to like basically go after these soul driven dreams when they were aligned with their authentic self. And this is before I knew human design. And this is what I was seeing in terms of patterns. And I was like, wow, this is so amazing. And so I kind of got excited around that. And as a generator, I'm like, okay, that really does excite me. And so that also informed my path in supporting people in this way as well. And then I found human design and I was like, oh, well, this can really help people. So yeah, I'm also the author of Tap and Align to Your Human Design. This is a book that I've been working on. Had to change the title. If you're new to my world, what happened was I had to change my title. I was caught in a transition with the publishing company, and so we had to push it back. But it is on pre-sale right now, so super excited. You can check that out. It's all about tapping and really going through what we're going through now, but based on your design. I'm the podcast host of Sensitive, Spiritual, and Successful, and obviously the host and creator of this event. I'm a mom of 3. I have a almost 5-month-old at home, and I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. So I'm busy. Everything I do for work right now is just really exciting and fun for me. And I really went on this intention of finding soul aligned success where I can balance being a mom, being home with them. Like the older kids are outside of the house only 2 days a week. So really I'm home. I will say that I have a really supportive partner as well. So that helps. I'm very fortunate about that. But yeah, like I just do what I love and I get to hang out with my kids. I have a lot of tribal energy in my chart if you know anything about that. But yeah, I love being a mom and I love supporting people like you, heart-centered entrepreneurs reaching their authenticity and finding fulfillment and meaningful success. I have a story of burning down a lot of things in my life. Like I said, I'm a generator, so I've experimented with the things that I'm about to tell you. I kind of created my own little theory or put two theories together and went on to see what I could accomplish. And so I'm sharing it with you. I know that this is possible, and I want people to learn how they can work with their energy, how they can work with their belief system, their nervous system, and really just go after what excites them and what they want to achieve in this lifetime. So, yeah, bridging the gap from where you are to where you want to be is what I love. What we'll cover today, I'm going to go over why belief is crucial for your success. Two theories that I experimented with. I'm like, okay, that makes sense and that makes sense. So I'm going to share that with you. And I said that it can help you jump timelines because I experienced this and like I'd love to teach you this to see what is possible for you as well. I'm going to go over the role of psychological reversals that are keeping you stuck, and I'll go over what that is if you're like, what the heck is that, Jazz? I'm going to also go over how your human design type might influence your goals and how to make sure that they are aligned because oftentimes I see that we are going after goals that we don't actually want. We just think that we want them because of outside influence. So when you align to your design, when you are more sure of who you are and what you value, when you're going on that journey of self-discovery, I'm not going to say like tomorrow you're going to just figure this out because sometimes it is a process, right? This self-discovery, self-improvement journey, but I'm going to just give you a little hints related to your human design that you can reflect on. And I'm going to teach you how to increase your believability to align with your goals because when we are looking at our chart, when we're hearing things about ourselves, if there's a little voice that's saying, yeah, but that's not me, or yeah, but that's not possible, I want to help you increase that believability because that's what's going to keep us stuck. Okay, I'm already diving into it. Let's go to the next slide and then I will and then I will go into it with in more depth. Why do we want alignment? I think that we hear this a lot in this human design field or even just in healing in general, like the wellness space, healing space. It's like, gotta find alignment. Honestly, it's probably because you're over trying to do things like everyone else. You've experienced burnout maybe multiple times. I know I have because you're just trying things and doing things. You hear that alignment is like success is based on passion, purpose, and excitement, and that it's sustainable. You love the idea of opportunities presenting itself to you and like engaging in the universe, giving you the next step or supporting you with the synchronicities, right? You hear that when you're in alignment, these things happen. When you're in alignment, you are more compassionate with yourself. You have a deeper self understanding. You're connected to your intuition. You trust yourself more. You know what your strengths are. You know where you need what your areas of improvements are. And that's okay too, right? You're honest with yourself. People want alignment because they want life to feel easier. You want life to feel easier. You want to experience deep, meaningful fulfillment. And as somebody who has chased dreams that other people had for me, it didn't matter what I accomplished. I would still be running for the next thing because I was looking for that feeling. And maybe you can relate to that. And in human design, we hear about alignment means living with honoring our energy, knowing ourselves, how we operate, what our role is in this life. It gives insight into our purpose, our motivation. There's so many things that human design can really start to give you an idea of who you are before the world kind of told you who you should be. And so this is why I think it's really important to have this little piece, this whole belief piece in psychological reversals. So it gives you something to think about as you learn more about yourself in the context of human design and the way you self-reflect. Now, don't get it twisted with alignment being so easy and, things just flow and everything's amazing. Yeah, you can get to a point where you've developed enough capacity to be able to flow with the ups and downs. It's not to say things aren't going to happen because guess what? We're human and very real about that. You have to work against your fear, your procrastination. You're going after your big dreams and you're dealing with self-doubt, self-sabotage. And you're like, why is nothing picking up? Why is nothing gaining momentum? I say that I want it, but things aren't actually happening. And I struggled with this so deeply. I had huge, big dreams. That's just who I am. Like a big dreamer. I'm a Pisces sun, but I'm also a Taurus moon, Taurus rising. I'm like, I need to see it in the material world, right? I want to see it actually unfold. And so, yeah, when I think about people selling this alignment thing, it all sounds great. But if you're disconnected to your body, if you don't believe what you're reading, is anything really going to change? And are you just going to backslide into your old way of being when you're on the pursuit of going after your goals and your dreams? Okay. So, yeah, the thing with me, I think I've already said this, is that when you are reading, hearing things about yourself, really great things about yourself, if there's that little nagging voice that says, yeah, but that's not me, or that inner critic saying, who am I? So I'll give you an example. As a 3-5, I learned I was a 5 line, my unconscious profile line. And it's like visionary, leader, here to provide practical solutions and influence and support strangers. And one of my beliefs was like being real. The fear of being seen was so real for me. I didn't really believe that I had leadership energy. And so when I read it, I was like, that's kind of scary, to be honest, right? But there was a part of me that knew that that was me. I just had to be able to work with my human side to bring that out. I really had to believe that that was me because there was a part of me that didn't believe that that I was capable of great things. And so, yeah, that's kind of why this is part of my thing. So, yeah, once you start to find your way back to yourself and you shed old stories and limiting beliefs, things start to feel more like you. You start to feel more like you, right? I came across two theories that really drove my experimental phase. I wanted to see what was possible. I'm like, okay, if this is true, let me see. And so this is why I'm sharing it with you because I learned it was possible and it's true. Uh, First, for a little bit of context, when I was experimenting with this, I had burned down a lot my psychotherapy practice. I wanted to be home with my kids. I wanted to do things that lit me up. I wanted to talk more about human design, have more collaborations. I felt like a nobody in the field, just like trying to post online and gain some traction. And it wasn't working, right? And so when I ran these experiments, what happened was I ended up creating and hosting the Ultimate Human Design Summit, and that brought in some amazing people into my life. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, the world is not a scary place. This is, I kind of have found my belonging. So I got to do that. I pitched my book idea to Human Design Press and they liked it. So I ended up publishing a book, like I said, tap and align to your human design. And I remember a friend saying to me when I told her that I had signed this publishing deal she said, Jazz, I thought you meant that that was your like 10-year goal. I thought that that's what you were working towards. And that really solidified that these two theories work when you are able to really do this stuff. Okay, so let me just jump into it. Two theories. Carolyn Miss, world renowned energy healer. She talked about it was a Gaia TV series. And what she said was the more weight we have, the more weight we have to experience. Something like that. Okay, let me break it down. So she was talking about the energy centers and clearing them and aligning them. The chakra system was what she was kind of going off of. She called them energy centers. But she was saying that when we clear the old beliefs that don't serve us, the emotions that we've pushed down, old limiting stories, things like that. When we start to clear them, that's what she called our weight. So it was in the context of manifesting. When we clear that weight, the less we have to wait in terms of time. So our weight is like lifting weights. I called them ankle weights. She called them anchors. They anchor us, but I don't know why I didn't hear it right. So I just call them ankle weights now. That's not what she calls them. So our ankle weights are holding us in place. They're heavy, old beliefs, limiting stories, things like that. And it's impacting our weight of what we want to manifest in terms of time. So it's like, okay, that makes sense to me. I hope I explained that correctly to you. And then the next theory was quantum physics. I mean, it's way more complex, but really, really just the part that really stuck out to me was our consciousness determined the direction of a particle. So what you're looking at were, vibrating little things, little atoms, particles, and there's so many possibilities of where it could go, right? It's just vibrating. Now, what determined the direction of the particle, like I said, was when you put your attention to it, was when you observe it and you put your consciousness onto it. That determined where that particle went. It's like, wow, okay, so our attention, our intention, our consciousness, we need a target, right? So we know where we're going. And so that I took that and was like, great. When I looked at my human design, I saw that as a target. That's who I came here. That's who I am in terms of my gifts, what I'm here, how I'm here to serve the world, the role I play, my purpose. I'm like, okay. And I will say, when I read my incarnation cross, which is your life purpose theme, I'm like, I don't see it. And now here I am. I'm a right angle cross of planning. And here I am creating and hosting the Ultimate Human Design Summit and getting people together and collaborating. And like it finally fell into place, right? But when I first read it, I was like, this isn't it. But what I did was I looked at my human design chart and I saw, okay, so I'm a visionary, I'm a leader, I'm here to experiment. And I've said this in other interviews, like my third line, I used tapping, had to clear the shame I felt around my past failures. Like, why do I want to do all these things? Why do I always do it the hard way? Why do I finally, when I learned that I was a third line, I'm like, let's go. No more shame. I'm going to clear that stuck emotion. I made meaning around the experiences I've had, and I kind of just let it determine, oh, Jazz, don't do that. That's a silly idea. You're just going to fail, right? You're just a failure. Once I let go of all those stories, I was just like, okay, let's just try. And that's that's why I'm here now. But that was my target. Okay, so I'm somebody who tries, and that's okay to try. I'm not going to let my emotions, I'm not going to label myself as a failure. I'm going to label it as learning. I'm a 5 line. I'm here to provide practical solutions. When I had that idea of the book idea drop in with combining human design and EFT tapping, I'm like, that's a very practical solution for people, because when I would give human design readings, it's like, okay, now what? Right? Like, you have to actually live it. And are you even connected to your body? Do you believe what you're reading? Things like that. I needed something that I could give people so that they could start their alignment journey and not just consume more information about themselves. And that's why I think the information is so great, but I really love when people are taking action, when they're actually taking one little step forward or changing a little thing that they're doing. And sometimes that's easy to do. You can read it and you can change, certain behaviors. But when it comes to going after your goals, living up to your potential, what is stopping you? And that's belief and your nervous system, right? Trying to seek safety. Well, I'm going to get into it right now, but it's more than just changing your belief, is what I'll say right now. It has to be felt on all levels. Okay, so why do we limit ourselves? It's your subconscious mind. So we actually dream when you have goals and you're envisioning this amazing life for yourself or what you want to do. We're using our conscious mind, right? And our unconscious, our subconscious will always bring us back to baseline. Safety is really important for the subconscious, right? You can even say that the subconscious mind is the body. So if you don't feel safe, you'll only get that far, right? You can only work so much with your conscious mind and your willpower to make things happen, but self-sabotage and stopping yourself, keeping yourself stuck can end up happening if you're not on the same safety level of your conscious dreams. Okay. So that's just part of how humans work. And I've seen this. I've seen this for myself. I've seen this for other people. And so our subconscious mind is a powerful part of our mental framework. Okay. It operates below the level of conscious awareness. From ages 0 to 7, we are in a lower brainwave state and we easily become conditioned. That's just who we end up being. Like, the beliefs that you hold, the experiences you had, they can really be locked into our subconscious. And so, like I said, it stores our beliefs, memories, habits, experiences. It influences our thoughts and behaviors without us even realizing it. So, a quick example: you say that you want to be a public speaker, that you want to, influence hundreds and hundreds of people. But if you have a subconscious belief that you're not a good speaker, or someone had said something that, oh, you talk funny, or you have an accent, that might stop you. You might think, oh, I want to do it, but I'm not going to because people are going to judge me. And then that fear sets in, right? That can stop us. Those old stories or things that people have said stick with us if we don't move through those emotions. And so the subconscious mind actually controls over 90% of your behavior. So this is why it's important to look at, because you're going, making changes, going after your dreams, and then you're wondering why things aren't sticking. You want success, but you fear responsibility. You fear judgment. You fear your relationships are going to change if you become too successful. Those are things that lie in our unconscious mind, and it's our job to make them conscious. And I've done this. I've spun my wheels trying to, find this success, and I have failed. I've learned. This is more sustainable when you actually do this. So rewiring is possible thanks to neuroplasticity. That's what we've learned. A psychological reversal is something that you need to get familiar with. And the freebie that I have are common blocking beliefs. So if you want to click that button on the page and you can download it and you can see what I'm talking about. I won't go through them all, but basically what it is this happens when your subconscious mind resists a positive change, even though you consciously want it. So you want to succeed in business, but deep down you believe success will make people judge you. So without realizing it, you self-sabotage, procrastinate, overthink, avoid taking action. That happens. Okay. And if you've experienced that, we can work on it. Okay. So it's like when you have an internal no when you're trying to say yes, right? It's like, I want to make a video and go viral. And then, or like, I want so many clients, but it's like the internal no is like, I'm kind of scared that I'm not good. I have imposter syndrome. I'm not good enough. People are going to judge me. People are going to say mean things about me. It's not safe to be seen. That's the internal no. It's like, actually, no, I don't want that because it doesn't feel safe. it doesn't feel congruent with what I'm saying. And your subconscious mind knows that. You can say all the affirmations you want, right? But if your subconscious mind is like, yeah, no, like that doesn't sound true, it knows. Your subconscious mind knows. And so part of what I do is also teach how to create affirmations that land better in the body, or you can do EFT tapping to be able to find affirmations that feel more safe as you're tapping in affirmations, the way you word it, the way you are able to regulate your nervous system through tapping. I haven't gone through the science of tapping, but there is a lot of science behind tapping. And I would highly recommend episode 7 of my podcast, Sensitive, Spiritual, and Successful. I got to interview world leading world leading psychologist who has done a lot of research on EFT tapping, Dr. Peter Stapleton. And we go over a lot of it, and it's pretty mind blowing. So yeah, I would definitely look into that. Okay, so now you know a little bit about psychological reversals. You might be thinking about, okay, yeah, I have been stuck. What is in the way? Like I said, grab that freebie, look at those common blocking beliefs, and you can start doing some tapping for that. I have some videos on my YouTube, but you can also just YouTube, like look it up, or the book. The book will have some teach you how to tap, and I have some videos there as bonus content. But let's just do something that we can all begin to relate to. Okay, so you're a heart centered coach, practitioner, or maybe you're thinking about becoming one. That's why you're here. You're learning more about yourself and how to work with your energy. Let's look at goals you're setting for yourself, the vision you have for yourself. Okay, it is so important that you have goals that align with your values, and you're not doing it to prove it to someone. You're not doing it to, I don't know, just another kind of motivation that might actually be hindering your progress. And I think no amount of doing the work around psychological reversals will really help you in finding that deep fulfillment and alignment. So this is just something to think about, reflect about. Okay, so unaligned goals by our human design, a generator, manifesting generator. You may pick a goal that makes other people happy or proud, right? Like you might think, okay, I should do this, I should do that, because this person will be happy, this person will be proud of me. Sometimes we don't know what we want. Sometimes we're not in tune with what excites us. And so we have this energy, and it's us just listening to other people and what they want us to do, because we can do it. We have the energy to do it. Okay. And a projector may pick a goal because they still long to be recognized in their success, for success. So just be mindful of that. A manifestor may pick a goal based on not upsetting someone or to avoid feeling rejection. Maybe you're not in connection with, the impact that you can make in this world. And so your goals may be a little more diminished, or you're just not sure. You don't want to upset anybody. A reflector may pick a goal based on their deep desire for things to align perfectly with their vision or expectations of how they hope it will unfold. So staying having too much expectation on the way things need to be. It's like, this is my goal. It needs to look like this. I want my life to be just like this. Just be mindful of that. Okay. So look at how your goals may be driven by the wrong motivation, I guess I'll say, or a not helpful motivation. I won't say wrong. So yeah, your target. What do you want? What are you focusing on, and what are your goals? Just reflect on it. Maybe things will change. Maybe you'll say, okay, yeah, maybe I am trying to make my mom proud or my family proud. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but does it align with you? Does it make you feel lit up, if you're a generator? So it's important to look at this and be cautious of this. Now let's think about it now, if you can, or if you have something, state your big vision goal. It can be a money goal. It can be how many people you want to serve, like 1,000 people, 100 people this year, what you want your life to look like. Let it be big enough to scare you a little. Okay. Let it just stretch it. Maybe not, I'm going to make $1,000,000 if you've only been making, I don't know, a couple hundred a month. Just make it a little bit big enough to stretch you, but not where it's like, oh my gosh, that's never, ever, ever, ever going to happen. Things happen in steps, right? Not saying that it's never going to happen. It can happen, but let's just look at that. Picture it in your mind's eye. Okay. Tune into how you feel, tune into what your thoughts are. When you hear yourself say your big vision goal, listen for the, yeah, but that's never going to happen. Yeah, but I've never made that much money before. Yeah, but it's going to be too hard for me. So take a moment to do that. Okay, let's do some dream activation tapping. Let's increase this belief of this big vision goal that you have. When you tap the points on your body, you are actually rewiring your response to stress. Simply put, you are regulating your nervous system. And as a therapist, when I would work through trauma situations, healing happens when you're able to tell the story and not have the same physiological responses in your body. So you'll notice that if you talk about something that you're still holding on to, you can feel that response in your body. Maybe you can feel it in your stomach. Maybe you can start feeling anger. Maybe your cheeks start getting red. You're having that same physiological response because your body holds on to stress and trauma. Now, when I worked with clients and we would tap through the points going through traumatic situations, it what would happen was it rewired their response to stress. So they were able to go through the traumatic event. After doing some tapping, they're able to say it as a story. You don't forget that it happened, but you're able to say it without that same physiological response going through their body. It became something that they could talk about that didn't activate them. And that's where healing happens. When we talk about triggers, I'm sure you've heard about, oh, you're triggering me. That's that you're working through it to find peace in your body, even though that still happened. Okay, so that's for like healing. When we're talking about dream activation, you have this big vision goal, and there's a part of you that's like, oh, I don't know if that's possible, or you're starting to feel like maybe embarrassed or nervous, or you feel the fear. Can I actually do this? Let's rewire our response to stress. Let's make it so our dreams aren't actually so scary, and that maybe, just maybe, it is possible, or we can increase that believability that you can do it, right? Because belief is so important because it drives us. It drives us when we think we are capable of doing something, when we actually believe in it, believe that we can without all the extra baggage that we hold, that's when things align, right? And so that's why I love tapping. That's why I do tapping. I think that's honestly why I've been able to create this summit, be here speaking the way that I speak, not as nervous and anxious, and being able to show up for thousands and thousands of people, sending emails to thousands and thousands of people to join this event, and being able to write a book, right? So let's make it seem possible. Okay, so what we're going to do here, just follow me. Actually, I'll go through the points first if you're not familiar with tapping, and then we can do it together and just repeat back what I say. You can say it out loud. You can say it in your head. If you're driving, don't do this while you're driving. You can come back to it. There's 48-hour replays. So the first step we do is tap the side of the hand. Okay, that's the first point, and you'll hear me say like, even though I, so that's that. And then the second point is the beginning of your eyebrow, right there. Side eye, so the sides of your eye, under eye, right there. You'll feel like that little bone under your nose, and you just tap maybe 5 to 7 times, okay? Your chin, but it's not really your chin, it's like right under your bottom lip. Collarbone, you'll feel those 2 little knobs. You'll go down an inch, out an inch, and you'll tap there. And there is science behind tapping the actual points. There's studies around sham points and the actual acupuncture points that we are using. And then underarm is 4 inches from your armpit, or where, if you wear a bra, where your bra line would sit. And then top of head, so you can like take your ears, go all the way to the top, and use all your fingers and tap the top of your head, okay? So let's go here. Have your dream, and let's say this while tapping the side of your hand. Even though I have this big dream of, state your dream, I choose to love and accept myself. Okay, we're going to say it 2 more times in different ways. Even though I have this dream of whatever your dream is, and it seems silly or far-fetched for me to even be saying this, I can choose to love and accept myself. Okay, one more time. Even though this dream seems way too big, like who am I to even make this happen? I still choose to love and accept myself. So eyebrow point here, this dream, side of eye, part of me doesn't feel like it's possible to achieve. Under eye, like who am I to achieve this? Under your nose, part of me doesn't feel safe to have that level of success. Chin here, how will my life change? Collarbone point, what if my relationships change? What if people don't like me anymore if I reach this big dream? Underarm, this dream that I have, I know that I want to achieve it. Top of head, I know I only have this one life to live. Eyebrow point, and then I'm tired of playing small. Side of eye, but it just doesn't seem possible. Under eye, or that it'll take a million years to finally get to that point. Under your nose, I want to make this happen. Chin point, but do I trust myself? Collarbone point. Do I really believe deep down that this is possible? Underarm. What do I need to believe to make this feel more true? Top of head. What do I need to change about how I show up every day, how I think about myself to make this feel more true? Eyebrow point. How can I see that I have enough power to take the very first steps? Side of eye. That I can make this possible. Under eye. I choose to believe that I'm capable. Under nose. Choose to believe that I can achieve what I set my mind on. Chin point. I have this big dream. Collarbone point. And even though it kind of scares me, underarm, I'm open to seeing how it unfolds. Top of head. I'm capable of achieving the dreams that I set my heart on. Take a deep breath. See how you feel. If there's anything that doesn't resonate with you, honestly, just change what it is that you want to say. Like, that's just an example script and you can tap along with it. But as you do tapping, what I find is that people find their own groove. People find the way that they want to speak to themselves that feels more natural, that feels more consistent with who they are and their experiences. Tapping works best when it's specific. So like I said, this is very generalized tapping. Either way, you are getting the benefits because you are tapping the points and you are bringing yourself back into a state of more calmness as you rewire your response to stress. So another way you could do this, if you're like, I don't want to do all that talking, if you are really good at visualizing and really holding something in your mind's eye, visualization tapping, just picture what it is that you want and tap. Tap all the points, okay? And just let that sink into your body a little deeper, right? Let it, whatever ends up coming up. There's another way to do it where I could work with a client who has all these doubts. Yeah, but I'm really bad at speaking, or I'm a really bad writer. Any of those beliefs you could work on. You can work on the yeah buts. But this is just one way of doing tapping. It's called the emotional freedom techniques. So there are various techniques that you can do. And I hope that this helped you. I just have to go on and say that taking action does matter. You don't just tap and things like start to align. What I've noticed is that tapping helps you reduce the fear and resistance you may feel around the actions that you take. And actions create more clarity. And that could not be more true as I've gone through my experiences and making stuff happen for my life. Taking action, sometimes it's going to be messy. Sometimes you're going to mess up. Sometimes you're going to feel like you embarrassed yourself. Honestly, tapping helps work through those emotions. So you're not dwelling on it, that you're not like just being really hard on yourself and then it stops your momentum. If you're able to work through what it is you're feeling, how you perceive yourself, the beliefs you have about yourself, taking action is a lot easier. So even though we're doing tapping, I want you to be able to use that to help calm your system, but also use it to help you take the actions you need to break down your goals into smaller steps, right? Balance dreaming with the practical steps and clear your resistance every day. Writing my book was hard because some days I didn't get good enough sleep. My kids were having a hard time. I doubted it. I went on like so many ups and downs of like, this is the best book ever. Oh my gosh, this sucks. People are going to hate it. I had to work through all that mindset stuff. And I just used tapping every day to clear the resistance, whatever it was that I was feeling, bring myself back to a level of calm and safety. And I just kept going. So I hope that this helped you. I hope that when you listen to the presentations today, you see your potential, you see what you're capable of, you learn more about yourself, and you look at ways of really believing in your potential, really believing in what you're here to do in this world and how you're able to serve people. It's time we take up space. It's like the world deserves to know what you're able to do for them. I find like the best, honest coaches, practitioners have the hardest time taking up space in this online world. And I want you to feel like you can succeed. And I want you to be able to move through that fear. And just know that I'm always cheering you on. If you ever reply to my emails, I try and get back to you. I just love hearing about what you're working on and how the summit has helped you, what you think about the summit. Yeah. So keep an open mind. Like I said, write down when that little voice says, no way, that's not you. Write down when the little voice says, yes, I knew it. As you go through this process, you got this.
And that's it for today's episode. Please share it with anyone else who wants to learn more about human design or anyone who may be on their personal growth and spiritual development journey. You can DM me on Instagram to talk about what resonated with you, what you learned about yourself. I love hearing about human design in real life. So I really appreciate those conversations. And if you would like, you can leave a comment, a review, a rating, and subscribe to the podcast. That support means the world. Thank you so much for listening. I know time is a valuable currency. Take care.